very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofogwe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. President Bola Tinubu has met with the newly appointed service chiefs at the State House in Abuja. The closed-door meeting, which came 3 days after the announcement of the new appointments, marked the president's first formal engagement with the new military leadership. The appointments, according to the presidency, form part of a strategic realignment aimed at deepening professionalism, boosting morale, and enhancing interagency coordination in national security operations. The House of Representatives Committee on Diaspora has launched the Nigerians in Diaspora Response application and website, a digital platform designed to bridge communication gaps between the Nigerian government and its citizens living abroad. The unveiling took place during the first Nigerian stakeholders engagement on diaspora governance held in Abuja. Declaring the event open, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, said Nigerians in diaspora to excel globally, contributing significantly to the nation's economy, diplomacy, and image. Residents of Gwarinpa district in Abuja are raising serious concerns over the growing heaps of refuse that have taken over major portions of their community, calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration and relevant waste management authorities to urgently intervene before the situation worsens. Ubong Usoro has details.
The once serene environment of Gwarinpa is now littered with piles of waste, emitting foul odors and posing a serious health risk to residents. Areas around 3rd Avenue, Tipa Garage, and several inner streets have become dumping grounds, with drains and access road blocked by uncollected refuse. The chief of Gwarinpa village, speaking to Global Television, said that after writing severally to the authorities about the issue, the waste continue to pile up. He said his people are suffering from the stench and mosquitoes and called for urgent government action to evacuate those dumps before it leads to an epidemic.
Right. Then they're telling us that all they need is our support, that they could no longer meet up, and it has been affecting us negatively. We are clamoring for the government if there's anything they can do to be of aid, because it's not been good. We have not been enjoying the situation at all.
Residents say the uncollected waste has become a daily nightmare, making movement difficult and endangering children who play nearby.
This is not good to be here like this. I've been here for a long time. I've been seeing this thing, but it's not good.
This bola is too much for this thing now. In the square the my belly, in go score the person everything, in they do this, in they give the person chuta for body. That
the government, they're supposed to do something about it. At least three times in a week, they're supposed to come and pack it so that this place is not good they mess up for yet.
Authorities are yet to make an official statement, but residents remain hopeful that their plea will spur immediate action to restore cleanliness and ensure environmental safety in Gwarinpa.
So today we visited Gwarinpa, where we have a waste dump just behind me, and this is not the future. This is not the picture of the Nigeria we want. We are calling on those who are responsible, the government, those at the FCT, and every other person in Armac to make sure that this waste is cleared and the people of this community will be able to live in a clean, serene environment, and that's what we call for. My name is Ubong Usoro from Global Television.
Quite concerning indeed. Thank you so very much, Ubong. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will conduct the forthcoming Anambra State governorship election in 5,718 out of the 5,720 polling units across the state. The information was released by Dr. Kenneth Ikagu, the National Commissioner supervising Anambra State and Chairman of the Commission's Tenders Board Committee, during a readiness assessment visit by a delegation from INEC headquarters in Abuja. Ikeagu stated that the Commission has achieved 99% operational preparedness for the November 8, 2025 governorship election in the state. Courts in Kaduna State were shut on Monday as the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, began an indefinite strike to press home several demands, including the implementation of the financial autonomy for the judiciary. The federal and state high courts, the upper Sharia courts, as well as the customary and magistrate courts were under lock and key, with banners on the gates reading JUSUN Kaduna State chapter embarks on strike. The union said the industrial action was due to the state government's failure to respond to multiple correspondences, including a demand letter dated September 1 and an ultimatum letter dated October 9, 2025. The Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, in Kaduna State has advised residents of Afaka, Kuya, and Mando to steer clear of its open range from Tuesday, 28 October to Friday, 7 November 2025. This is contained in a statement issued by the Academy Public Relations Officer, Major Muhammad Meidawa, in Kaduna State. Meidawa stated that the inhabitants of Mando, Samia, Kauya, and Afaka general area are cautioned as the Academy will be conducting a range management package shooting exercise for cadets of the 73 Regular Corps Army. Governor Biodun Yebanji has emerged as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC in Ekiti State ahead of the June 20, 2026 poll. The governor, who is the sole candidate, was unanimously affirmed by a total of 885 delegates, 5 each from 177 wards across the state, in line with the party's internal electoral guidelines and Electoral Act 2020. His emergence followed the withdrawal of Atinuke Omolayo and disqualification of Kayode Ujo and Abimbola Olajumoke, who failed to meet the party's requirements, which paved way for Oyembanji's affirmation as the party's consensus candidate. And still talking politics, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Adamawa State has inaugurated a caretaker executive committee to steer the party's affairs until a new leadership is formally elected. Presiding over the inauguration, the Northeast Zonal Vice Chairman of the party, Babachir Lawal, said stakeholders had agreed to constitute the interim team to stabilize the party and prepare it for the 2027 general election. Lawal explained that the new structure is approached by the National Working Committee after due consultation and compliance with the party's constitution. At least 5 teenage girls have lost their lives following a boat mishap in Nafada town, Gombe State. Media aides to the state governor Enuwa Yahaya, Ismaila Uba Misili, has expressed deep sadness over the incident in a condolence message to the bereaved families. He describes the incident as painful and heart-wrenching, especially given the tender ages of the victims and the grief caused to their families. Quite a depressing piece of news right there, no doubt. Let's turn to other stories for you now. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, a child protection specialist, Victor Atuchuku, has raised concerns that some internally displaced persons, IDP camp officials, were using their positions to take advantage of vulnerable girls and women dislocated by conflicts. Atuchuku disclosed this during a meeting convened by JASPI Health and Gender Development Initiative in collaboration with UNICEF to map out modalities for the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence as well as sexual exploitation and abuse in Makurdi, Benue State. He noted that gender-based violence targets individuals because of their gender, while sexual exploitation involves abusing positions of power or trust for sexual or financial gain. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast varying weather conditions across the country from Monday to Wednesday, with slight dust haze expected in northern states and moderate rainfall across parts of the central and southern regions. The agency warned of possible flash floods in some states, advising the public to remain alert. In its 3-day weather outlook released, the agency stated that slight dust haze with good visibility is expected over Borno, Zamfara, Northern Kaduna, Yobe, Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina states. This is Global Television. You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News. When the rest of the news returns shortly, we have more stories coming your way from business, foreign, and sports segments. Please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. Major stakeholders in Africa's business and investment landscape have converged at the African Trade Center for the official signing of new strategic partnerships aimed at deepening trade, youth development, and economic collaboration across the continent. Our business correspondent, Kekelomo Okere, has details for us.
Across Africa, there is a growing movement to bridge the gap between business and government, a move seen as key to driving sustainable growth and improving regional competitiveness. The signing ceremony marks a new chapter in effort to strengthen Africa's private sector and promote inclusive growth through collaboration between public institutions and private enterprises. Officials says the agreement will serve as a framework for driving innovation, improving access to business opportunities, and connecting Africa's next generation of entrepreneurs with global markets.
Represent building a safer, stronger, and more connected Africa and business environment. Through these alliances, we created new pathways for entrepreneurs to thrive, for women to lead with confidence, and for youth to find opportunities beyond boundary.
The partnership organizer says go beyond paperwork, symbolizing a shared commitment to building a stronger,
able to attract not just investment and possibilities, but also attract the goodwill of other countries as well.
The high point of the event was the formal signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between participating institutions, a symbolic one message that Africa Television News.
Our business correspondent, Kekelomo Okere, we appreciate your reporting. The federal government has concluded plans to build feed storage centers at community level to save post-harvest wastages in rural areas of the country. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, stated this in Abuja. Over to Topsy Gimba for details.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, said these centers are different from the food silos in the cities, but built in rural areas to save the post-harvest wastages farmers may encounter, highlighting on the importance of the 3 Bs, namely, a B for an act to establish cassava inclusion as flour, a B for an act to establish National Food Reserve Agency, and a B for an act to establish Rice Council of Nigeria. Senator Abubakar Kyari said that the federal government is planning to build food storage centers at the community level to save farmers from food produce wastage. Senator Kyari also revealed that the federal government is working towards ensuring that prices of food items further crash in 2026 to make food available to Nigerians while providing incentives for farmers as effort to cushion the effects the policy might have come along with on food prices crash in the country.
We are in the process of trying to see, because this is harvest time now, and part of the reason that we are also happy on the National Food Reserve Agency is the issue of the guaranteed minimum price, because that's one mechanism that you can use to offset the cost of production.
Earlier, the Chairman Senate Committee on Agricultural Production Services and Rural Development, Senator Saliu Mustafa Kwara Central, said the 3 bills were significant to the country's food security and urged the stakeholders to contribute meaningfully for the members of the committee to report back at the plenary for easy passage. He said the cassava flour inclusion bill will save the country from importing millions of tons of wheat for bakery into the country,
creating jobs for our teeming unemployed youths and improving the living standard of smallholder farmers. Imagine a Nigeria where every loaf of bread, every pastry, and every noodle not only nourishes our body.
The representative of the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, The Senate Chief Whip, Senator Mohamed Mungunu Borno North, said the bills will provide food security for the country and also save the importation.
This bill will streamline funding, governance, and resource distribution to protect the vulnerable. Rice Development Council of Nigeria bill. This is the third bill.
Many stakeholders presented memorandum in the support of the bills and called for their quick passage into laws.
I want to say that this is the time of cassava in the world. We produce 64 million metric tons in the world, but we are not in the global market.
Congratulations to the Senate for bringing this bill forward, especially the sponsor of this bill. It is timely
for federal government to work fast in order to save the country from the looming threats of hunger the population is faced with. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
Well, thank you so very much, Gimba. Let's stay with business now. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has achieved record-breaking tax collection of 47.39
National Council, President Biya won 53.7% of the vote.
Republic of Cameroon with a mandate to serve for the next 7 years.
Chiroma had earlier declared himself winner and called for nationwide demonstrations, leading to deadly clashes in Douala, where 4 people were killed as security forces dispersed protesters. Observers say the election reaffirms Biya's tight grip on power in a system critics describe